a wide, wide world of sports is going on here.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
I'm Sean.
And I'm Andrew. We are the winning losers.
We win. Sometimes.
3/4 of this is inaccurate.
Welcome on back to another edition of Winning Losers here on the Brawl Network. Second episode with them now, and it's been great being here. And we're gonna start off. We have DraftKings sponsoring the show, and March Madness.
What can you tell us about DraftKings, Drew?
Yeah, March Madness just around the corner. Their sportsbook is still offering the new users to bet $1 and they can win $100 on any college or NBA basketball game through 2/28. That's tomorrow. Yeah, 2 more days, I guess. That's on all college and NBA basketball. First time DraftKings depositors only. You have to make a deposit of at least $5 into your account. Following the deposit, you have to bet at least $1 on a money line or spread for any college or NBA game.
And we have a link to this promotion on our Twitter account. It was posted last Monday, and it will be reposted. So click on that link to access this promotion.
Yeah. So the bet is if the team you bet on hits a 3-pointer during the game, you will receive a $100 bonus. The bet must be placed prior to the start of the game, and it will be paid out as 4 $25 free bets. Those bets are valid for 7 days. If you do not use them, they will be voided. The amount is not included in any returns or winnings. It's also not redeemable for cash, non-transferable, non-refundable. 1 qualifying bet per user. It excludes live bets, parlays, free bets, cash-out bets, and voided bets. Also, you must be in Colorado, Pennsylvania, Indiana, Iowa, New Jersey, Illinois, Virginia, Michigan, Tennessee, or West Virginia.
Yes.
So, we're going to start off this week with the events that happened to Tiger Woods, unfortunately in a car accident. Sounds like it wasn't life-threatening, but still pretty serious.
Yes, I believe it was in LA as well.
Okay.
And
he had broke his leg pretty badly, it sounds like.
Yes. Okay, I heard that he had a leg injury. I just had not heard that it was confirmed as a broken leg.
No, yeah, actually multiple fractures. It sounded like people were saying it's as bad, if not worse, than what happened to Alex Smith.
Oh my God! Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and it was a rollover, so I mean, I can understand why the injuries were pretty severe. I mean, it looked like he rolled down a hill off the highway somewhere in the LA area.
Yes, single car accident. It looked like he just went right off the side of the road, basically.
Yeah. I have to imagine that speed was a factor, that he was driving too fast in a part of LA that he wasn't familiar with, and just went off the side of the road.
Yeah.
Or he was distracted, like a lot of drivers are with their phone or who knows what. So
it's possible, or just going too fast, But the tough thing with Alex Smith was the infection. If he avoids that, hopefully he will have an easier recovery than Smith did. But I think it's still fair to question if he's going to, at least in the regular golf tournament, play again. He might play for the senior tour.
Yeah.
But it's fair to wonder if his main roster career is over.
I mean, I thought he would have been done a long time ago. But with that,
come back from so many injuries that it really is good to see that he was still succeeding. He won a major, I don't know, was it earlier this year?
I think it was last year.
Last year? Okay.
I'm not sure, but the Masters is right around the corner on April 5th. So I highly doubt that he'll be playing in the Masters, which to me is the biggest tournament in professional golf. I know there are other majors, but the Masters is the Masters.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't think
it's the most hyped golf tournament in the world, but I just yes, it seems like that. If there's a tournament to play in as a professional, the Masters is it. But if he has a broken leg, I don't foresee that happening.
Yeah. I highly doubt he's gonna play. Hopefully, he can be there in attendance to at least, support everyone, and just his presence will make the event better. But
yes, and you were correct. He won the Masters in 2019, according to Wikipedia.
Okay.
So that was only 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But it is Wikipedia, so I'm not sure. I mean, I assume that that's correct, but I'm always a little hesitant to confirm that their information is always correct.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully, a leg injury is definitely going to be a big deal for a golfer, so.
Yes, and he's had knee and back problems before, so.
Yeah.
So this is just another obstacle, but yes. And I don't know if he would, if he retires, he doesn't have to play golf anymore between, his Nike deal and book deals and everything else. I'm sure he has plenty of income coming in that he won't have to work anymore. Or he can do speaking engagements, and he'll do a speaking engagement once or twice a month for thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I mean, whatever he ends up doing, he's going to be successful at it.
Yes.
And I don't know, I think he will still play on the senior tour at some point.
Yes. Yes, I mean, I would imagine he would want to, but still. Or maybe he wouldn't if he feels like that's a step below him, that he's like, I only want to play in PGA Tour tournaments. I don't want to play on the senior tour.
Most of the legends have gone on to do that, though, like Jack Nicklaus and those guys.
Yes.
All right, let's go on to the NFL. Deshaun Watson still in the news. Still doesn't want to be with the Texans.
Yes. And according to multiple reports that I'm looking up, in NBC Sports specifically is saying that he will lose up to $20.2 million if he sits out the 2021 season, which I think he would do. I think he would.
Yeah.
He's that adamant about getting out of Houston, and so I think he would pay more than that to get out.
Yeah. At this point, there's a meme on the internet. I don't know what I can't remember what it's from, but it's there's one guy and there's a quote underneath it that says, "She's not going to fuck you, bro." That's Deshaun Watson and the Texans.
Well, that's very relatable.
Yeah.
But with that, I hope he end up in Carolina, because I was watching NFL Live and they were speculating that and I think one of the mock drafts has the Panthers going with Mac Jones for their next quarterback, and I would not be happy with that decision. But I think if he goes to Carolina, that would be beneficial, or Chicago. We've talked about their quarterback struggles multiple times, but I think the Texans need to give up and move on, because if he sits out the season, they won't be able to draft a quarterback and they'll just play with their backup. So they have an opportunity to trade him or draft another quarterback. And I think if they're not cooperating with him, they're just going to set themselves back even more.
Yeah. It's like he's a much different situation than Le'Veon Bell, which was the last time we saw a player sit out an entire season. Like, Bell is just about money.
Yes.
Watson already got his contract, his big payday. He just doesn't like the decisions that the organization is making.
Yes. Well, and I'm sure he wants to go to a contender like every other player.
Yeah, and what's weird is the Texans were just a contender last year. They were up like 3 touchdowns on the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. And then they had to go and trade Hopkins. They completely lost their defense.
Yes.
I don't know what happened, but they fell so far in such a short period of time.
Yes.
But I saw apparently, so he had the meeting with our new head coach, and he was just like, yeah, I'm not playing for you.
I saw that out. Yes. I guess.
He said, no intention of playing for the Texans ever again. Is what he said.
I can't blame him.
The coach that was trying to show him that he's all in, wants him there, will do anything to make sure the Texans win again. And Watson was like, nope. I also saw that apparently NFL teams are like leaving voicemails for Houston with trade offers since Houston is refusing to take their calls.
Wow, they're completely mismanaging it. Like,
yeah,
just let them go.
Like, I mean, if you're gonna have a bidding war where you can get like 4 first-round picks, maybe a couple competent players, like you could probably get like a half decent return in quarterback, like Tua from the Dolphins, and like 4 first-round picks.
Yes, like I said, I think this is completely demonstrating their incompetence. They have the opportunity to turn this this negative situation into a positive situation, and they're refusing to move forward with that. They're just like, oh no, we're forcing you to play for the Texans even if you don't want to.
Yeah, and like so people are saying like if the Texans had hired I think the rumor was they wanted Louis Riddick as their GM and obviously Eric Bieniemy for head coach. People are saying like if they had just hired those two, then he'd be like, all right, I'll give this another chance. And instead they went and hired Caserio, which I think Caserio can be a very good GM, but he's obviously off to a wrong start with Watson.
Yes.
And then we have J.J. Watt too.
Well, he's towards the end of his career, so I think they're like just they clearly are not too concerned about him.
Oh yeah, he's obviously done there, but apparently there's like all sorts of conspiracy theories online about where he's going. Like he tweeted this week about what do you say? Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. And I saw people digging up like there's a mitochondria research center in Buffalo. So people are like, he's going to Buffalo.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I doubt it, but at least he's not rushing into this, and he's actually going to go to a team that he wants to be at instead of signing the first team that offered him a contract.
Buffalo is definitely a fit for him. I think also the Steelers, the Browns, I've heard, and the Bears seem like the most likely spots.
Wouldn't that be great if the Bears get both Deshaun Watson and JJ Watt, and then they win the conference.
Right.
Like, well, good. It was a good idea that we got out of Houston.
Yeah.
Now we're on a winner.
Yeah. So yeah, that's JJ Watt. Also in football, Big Ben is officially coming back. Another mediocre year for the Steelers. As soon as I saw he was coming back, I tweeted out, all it means is they're gonna go 10-6 or 11-5 again and get blown out in the first round of the playoffs.
Yes, I thought that too, since
he's gonna beat up on all the bad teams because he has a great defense. But unless they get like a great running back behind him, which they don't have the money for, then he's not going to go anywhere with it.
No, and as a Ravens fan, I was happy to see that. I'm like, well, he can struggle again in the 2021 season.
Yeah, I don't know, and like the Steelers owner was like, his arm is as strong as it's ever looked. He averaged his career low in yards last year.
So he was on point. Yes, it was a I think he fell drastically. He didn't fall as far as Drew Brees last year, but he fell.
Brees might be coming back too.
I saw that on SportsCenter as well.
I guess there was a new video today of him like pushing a sled or something, or pulling a sled, like a weighted sled.
Yes.
So he's still training, which is odd if he's, I don't know, it seemed like he was retired, but
I believe he had a severe shoulder injury, but he didn't announce it till the end of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, rotator cuff. That's why he couldn't throw.
And he obviously had that rib issue in the middle of the season.
Yes, if I were him, I would probably hang it up.
Especially considering, Brady's now in that division, and that team is just probably going to be better next year than it was this year.
Well, not only that, I think he's only risking more injury and a poorer performance if he comes back.
Yeah, exactly.
Since he's not that he was the most mobile quarterback, but it seems like he had some ability when he was younger to escape the pocket and extend plays a little bit. But yeah, as he ages, it's a little harder to do that. So, and I'm not sure about the quality of their offensive line, if they'll be able to protect him. Because
Marquise
I would not.
Pouncey retired. Marquise Pouncey, their starting center.
Oh, that's
so
another reason to retire. So they'll have to reload their line. It just seems like dangerous. And to your point, it'll be that much harder to win the division with the Bucs roster that they have there if nothing changes this offseason, or there aren't any significant changes to the Bucs roster next season.
Yeah.
So yes, there are plenty of reasons for him to retire.
Yeah. All right.
And I could see him as a good coach or offensive coordinator.
Yeah. Yeah.
If he wants to pursue that.
Yeah. And I don't think Tomlin is a good coach either, so.
What?
I don't think Tomlin is a very good coach.
Yes. Oh, for Big Ben?
So, just in general, so.
Yes. No, you've expressed that multiple times.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's always had talent, like enough talent that he just had to he just didn't have to screw it up. So if he since he didn't have to coach him up at all, since there was enough talent there, he just had to do all right, and it would actually make him look better than he was.
Yeah. Okay. Alex Smith next story. And the Washington football team, he says they didn't want him there this year, or he thinks they didn't. Basically, he was saying when he was coming back, he wasn't in their plans for this year when they were building their roster, and he basically went out there and proved that he could still do it. And they were like, well, I guess we can't really cut you because it would be a bad look for us. So they really had no chance but to take him on the roster. So,
I mean, if I were them, I would keep them because they have him and then the quarterback from Old Dominion that ended the season, whose name is escaping me right now.
The guy that Washington did have?
Yes.
Heineke,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and those are two not great options. So, I mean, I would still trust Smith for at least another season and then maybe try and draft another one, but they don't have a good track record of drafting quarterbacks.
Yeah, I know they signed Heineke to an extension, I think like a 2-year deal. But
Kirk Cousins was the one quarterback they drafted that played pretty well, and all the rest, at least in
Griffin, but then he got hurt.
Yeah, that was a disaster. He had one good season, and then it was just a disaster. That's why he's riding the bench for the Ravens now.
Yeah.
So, and all he could do was the run option offense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was
or
good
read option. I
but...
couldn't think of exactly what the term was.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Alex Smith, I mean, his comeback is a great story, and he's still only, I think, like 34. So if he
36
recovered, 36, even still, quarterbacks these days are playing till 40, 41.
Yes.
I don't know if he can do that on his legs because they are all kinds of crazy, but if he can, I mean, he definitely has the talent.
Yes.
Healthy.
Yes, but it seemed like Washington finds the way to screw up good situations.
Yeah.
Not
okay.
and he might not win you a Super Bowl, but at least he could give you the possibility of being a 10-win team.
Yeah.
I don't know if Heineke would be able to position you to be a 10-win team or to have that potential to be a 10-win team in a bad division. And Dwayne Haskins was a disaster. So they don't really have that many options.
Yeah. Also in Washington news, Jeff Bezos wants to buy the team, apparently.
He's been interested for a couple years.
Yeah. As far as we know, Snyder hasn't put them up for sale, but if they do, I think Bezos would be first in line, it sounds like.
Yeah. Well, according to this story on Yardbarker, he has a net worth of $181.5 billion. So I think he can afford to buy the Washington football team and multiple other teams.
He could probably buy the whole NFL if he wanted to.
Yes. I don't think the current owners would approve of that.
No, that would seem a bit conflict of interest, I guess.
Yes.
But yeah, it would definitely be an improvement in their ownership over Dan Snyder, I guess.
Yes. Well, and it for most of the time that I've been following Washington, they've only been terrible on the field, but I remember we discussed this summer that there were multiple sexual harassment allegations against Washington, so it seemed like he doesn't know how to put a team together to win on the field, and the company culture for Washington is pretty terrible. So I have to imagine that Dan Snyder or having Bezos replace Dan Snyder would be an improvement, but from what I've heard about Amazon's company culture in their distribution center,
that's not great.
it may not be that great. So
he also owns the Washington Post, I guess, which has done a lot of the hit pieces that have been out on Snyder. So he's already kind of helping put the bad publicity out there for their current owner.
Yes. Well, I don't know. I believe that the Washington Post, along with many other media outlets, were covering that story. So it was not hard for them to find bad news for Washington.
Yeah. All right. One last story for the NFL. Isaiah Wilson, last year's first-round pick for the Tennessee Titans. He said he's done with football as a Titan. His year this year consisted playing 4 snaps all season, a DUI, getting suspended, and 2 trips to the COVID list.
Yes. I believe that he had an incident at Tennessee State University here in Nashville where they that involved marijuana. So he just doesn't seem like he's mature enough to play in the NFL. So I
just noticed his Twitter handle was lazy.
What was it? It was lazy?
Lazy. Like lazy with an extra Y in there.
Yes. Well, clearly he doesn't want to play in the NFL. So I'm surprised
that he was first priority.
That he was drafted that high by any team, because they must have spoken to coaches and others close to him before they drafted him, and they just ignored those red flags. So it's clearly a waste of a pick.
Yeah, pretty much seems like it. It sounds like their GM is pretty much ready to release him, so.
That's what I had heard as well.
Yeah.
In the tweet has since been deleted, but I mean it's a moot point when people can screenshot it. So and I wonder if he had a conversation with John Robinson where Robinson was holding Isaiah Wilson accountable, and he didn't want to be held accountable for his actions and be an adult. He rather would just be rather just go to parties and not have any responsibility. So still, I don't know where you would go from here. I mean, I know he went to Georgia, but I don't even know if he graduated. So it's I think it might be difficult for him to find a real job if he behaves that way at that job as well.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk a little baseball next. The Mariners president and CEO Kevin Mather resigned after an old interview came out with him, with some pretty bad looking stories from him. Basically talking about being cheap, talking about not liking foreign players and their accents, and having to pay for translators for them. Stuff about him manipulating players' service time so you didn't have to pay them before they needed to.
Yeah,
all sorts of stories like that. One of their young future, one of their top prospects, Jared Kalenic, was one of the guys that apparently they did some service time manipulations because he did not sign a contract extension offer early.
Yes, that's uncalled for.
Yeah. I guess it says, okay, the quote here is, it was communicated to Jared that had he signed the contract, he would have debuted last year, said Kalynyk's agent. It was made crystal clear to Jared then and now that his decision not to call him up is based on service time. There is no question that if he signed that contract, he would have been in the big leagues.
What do they mean by service time?
So, like, in baseball, you're like, players go through like the arbitration and everything in baseball. Like that clock starts once they first hit the majors, and then they are like go through that for like 6 years before they actually become a free agent.
Oh, okay.
Teams have control of them in the bigs for like 6 years before they can even start negotiating or before they can talk with other teams.
Okay.
So him being in the minors gave them an extra year of control over it.
Oh yeah, that's definitely uncalled for and inappropriate.
Like, it's been a controversial topic in baseball for a long time. I know the Cubs did it with Chris Bryant, a couple other examples, but you'll see it time to time with a lot of the top prospects. Like, the actual rule is, I think there's like a date pretty early in the season. If a player isn't on the major league roster by that point, teams have an extra year of control over him. So it's like, I think if they're not on the major league roster for all of April, then the team gets an extra year of control, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now I know, and all of our listeners know about that practice in the MLB.
Yeah. But then there was all sorts of comments from him about, like, he was talking about one of their Japanese player, Ishikama, I think his name was, who, like, needed a translator, and then the CEO told him, like, I really don't like having to pay for your translator, and then all of a sudden the guy would, like, started to speak English a little better. So it's like, yeah, you don't need this guy. We're just going to get rid of him and you'll have to deal with it. So he doesn't like foreign-born players. He told one guy, Julio Rodriguez, I believe the guy's name is, that his accent was terrible. They couldn't understand him. Stuff like that. Just not great from him. So he stepped down, and yeah. And the Mariners haven't really been a relevant team for a long time either in baseball.
Nope. That's pretty embarrassing for the franchise.
Yeah. Okay. That's it for baseball.
Well, I have two other related stories that seem to be gaining some publicity. As Jeremy Lin says, he's been called coronavirus. I guess at G League games, but it didn't specifically say where or who was calling him that. Which is
someone else called him coronavirus.
What?
Someone else called him coronavirus.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yes. So
he's Korean too, isn't he? Or is he Chinese?
I believe he's Chinese.
Oh, right.
But still, that's still not appropriate that you just because somebody's from a different country that you call them inappropriate names like that.
No,
I was not aware that he was still in the G League until I caught this on SportsCenter yesterday.
Yeah.
And we were both wrong. He's Taiwanese.
Okay.
But still, you don't.
So they're getting his country wrong and they're insulting him.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, it's disappointing. So and he is he's 32, so I do not foresee him making it back into the NBA at this stage in his career.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a surprise he's still just doing his thing in the G League with no promise of getting back to the NBA.
Yes, he's on the Santa Cruz Warriors, to be exact. I knew it was a Warriors G League team. I didn't know where they were located. And it appears that he last played for the Raptors in 2019. Then he played for the Beijing Ducks in the 2019-2020 season, and now he's on the Santa Cruz Warriors. So, okay. I mean, maybe he just loves playing basketball.
I'm sure he does. Yeah, he does seem like the type of guy who likes basketball, but
yeah, he might as well just play till his career is until no one else wants him. But I'm sure he could still play overseas, whether in Europe or Australia, and keep playing professionally somewhere.
Yeah. All right. Let's cut it.
The other race-related story was in the NBA with the Utah Jazz are investigating executive over alleged racially insensitive comments.
I think I
in
saw
2015. That. So it seems like there's some race issues in the NBA.
Yeah,
you would hope that all their race initiatives would be working, but it does not appear that they have. Or well, this was in the past, but still.
Yeah, I mean, not that long ago.
Exactly. So those were just some side stories about other racism in sports.
Yeah. It's really a never-ending fight, it seems like.
Nope.
Let's go into other stories from the NBA. And the Celtics are still complete garbage, apparently. They've fallen all the way till 7th in the standings. No one really seems to know what's wrong with them either.
Well, it seemed like that Brad Stevens is liable for some of this. That I understand that they had some injuries, but it doesn't seem like he's able to lead them through those challenges. I mean, he's the leader day in and day out, and I think he needs to coach them up and figure out how to get the players to play better as a team to get those wins.
Yeah.
To overcome all those injuries. I saw Kemba put up 32 points yesterday in their win over the Pacers. So
right.
Maybe they'll have to rely on him to score that much every game to get some close wins.
Yeah, Kemba has had a lot of knee issues this year. Jaylen Brown has been slowed by a knee injury, but he's still having a great year. And Jason Tatum apparently is saying he has still feeling effects from COVID. He says he's getting tired a lot faster, so then maybe that's his issue. He's also still having a great year. And the other thing from last night's game against the Pacers that they won, the guy I've been saying all along, Robert Williams, he played 22 minutes, had 14 points, 11 rebounds.
I see the 11 rebounds here. Yes.
Yeah. So
yes.
They need to just keep getting him involved because he's playing one of the most consistent games in their lineup right now.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen people say apparently they have injury concerns about him, so are limiting his minutes too. But if that's your chance to win, then you have to risk it. And if he does go down, he goes down. But you need to be all in on the season, otherwise, I don't know.
Yes.
I'm trying to see how many blocks he had because it was a very good game otherwise. But yeah, before that they were losing games to bad teams. They were losing to the Wizards, to the Pistons.
I saw that. I was just skimmed over their roster. Yes, it seemed like they lost games they should have won.
He had 3 blocks as well to go along with the rebounds and points.
Yes, but it doesn't seem like they have. I mean, I guess they have decent depth, but I mean they're Williams, Teague, and Pritchard were really the only players that got significant minutes off the bench.
Yeah, Semi Ojeleye, I don't know why he didn't play at all. He's a decent player.
Yes, and it seems like Pritchard's been playing very well for a rookie.
Yeah, he's been. I would consider him in Rookie of the Year contention because I really don't know. Obi Toppin on the Knicks is doing well. I'm trying to think of other rookies, but I don't know that many. LiAngelo Ball's having a good year.
Yes, I saw that for Charlotte, which I'm surprised. But Naismith played 7 minutes yesterday and was 0 for 1. I guess it was 0 for 1 from 3-point range. So, and I thought he was a pretty high draft pick for.
Yeah, he was 14th. But yeah, before the last 3 games before the win against the Pacers, they lost to the Hawks, Mavericks, and that Pelicans game that we were recording during last week.
Yes. Well, and I pulled up Naismith's profile since I recognized the name because he went to Vanderbilt, and he's only averaging 4.2 points and 2.4 rebounds, 0.04 assists per game. So it seems like he has not lived up to be a first round pick.
Yeah, for Naismith.
Yes.
Yeah. He's not playing a lot of minutes yet. I don't know. That's the other thing. Stevens has trouble seemingly trusting rookies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, he trusts Pritchard.
He does, which maybe that's a lack of depth at the point guard position because Teague has not been the player they thought he was going to be when they signed him.
Yes.
So maybe that's a lack of trust there, or lack of depth there. But
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, but they need to do something to shake something up. I'd like them to get another scoring option somehow. Also, Marcus Smart being out right now and coming back will help them too.
Yes.
Elsewhere in the NBA, it's kind of weird what's been going on with the Nets because Kevin Durant the league forced him to miss like a week because of COVID protocols, even though he never had COVID. And then when he was healthy, it was like, I guess people are thinking that like he over-exaggerated a hamstring game to show the NBA, like, you made me sit out. Now I'm going to miss like your primetime games that you're going to put me in. Like they had a primetime matchup with the Lakers. And he was like, no, I'm going to sit that one out. And now he's out for the All-Star game too. So maybe, I don't know. I have a feeling he's still sticking it to the league for the All-Star game, being like, yeah, I'm not going to play in your stupid All-Star game.
Yeah, that I was surprised how much animosity there was between the NBA and the players about the All-Star game, which I think I'm on the player side. Like All-Star games in general suck. Just do the slam dunk competition and the three-point and the skills competition. That's all. Like they should just get rid of all All-Star games in total because they all stink. Yes. Yeah. So you may be right, but I have to imagine that there would be protocols in place so that players can't just over-exaggerate injuries to avoid playing games.
Yeah, I know.
It could just be a coincidence, but your theory does hold water that there may be some underlying issues.
Yeah. I heard this theory from another show.
Let me guess, the Barstool show.
Yeah, it was called This League.
Okay, you haven't mentioned that one before.
No. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. So a little weird what's going on with them, but and the All-Star game, and then Top Shot. What is Top Shot?
What is it?
Apparently, it's like it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it's like kind of like digital trading cards, from what I understand. And yeah, it's kind of hard to explain.
From the article you sent me, it appears that there are NBA highlights that you can bid on, but there are also that you can find for free online.
It's almost like digital trading cards. It seems like it's almost like digital trading cards. Like you buy this highlight of a player and then you like own the highlight, but sort of like 1,000 other people who bid on the highlight. I don't understand where the money in this is, but its value is going crazy right now. Like NBA players are getting into it and buying their own highlights.
That's well, I guess when you buy the highlights, you have the right to the highlight. Like,
yeah,
it's the same way with media outlets when they, or like ESPN has the right to broadcast certain NBA games, and then TNT has the right to broadcast it. So you actually own the right to that specific footage from the game. So you're basically just buying the footage directly from the NBA.
Okay.
That's just a guess. I'm not sure exactly how it works.
I don't know, but I'm looking at a tweet from Brian Windhorst that says, this was on February 22nd. He said, in the last 24 hours, Top Shots have done $47 million worth of transactions. One day.
I'm on their website now. It looks like Marketplace, but I don't see like how it works. So
yeah,
I guess if you really like a player, you can buy all the players' highlights, and then you can have like your own highlight tape for LeBron James.
Yeah, but it's like it's kind of like one of all the other like internet money things like Bitcoin and stuff that aren't like real money, but it's like, I don't know, they're just buying this thing that doesn't make sense why it has value, but it does.
Well, it has value because that's what people are willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
But the asset itself, yes, I don't see the value in the asset at all. And I'm not a huge NBA fan, as I'm sure you can tell. I followed a little bit, but I would not pay $200 for highlights of any NBA player. So I think I imagine that this is just another revenue stream from the NBA that they created because they're losing money because of COVID, like every other professional sports league.
Yeah.
So it seems like that, and it looks like it's still in beta testing. So they just launched this recently, and just I have to know that this is a proof of concept, and and it seems to be pretty successful.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it is making money. So
yes, and I would probably only buy it if I was an NBA player. Be like, oh wow, I had a great game. I'm going to buy my highlights from the game yesterday against the Knicks or whomever.
Right. Yeah.
But as just a fan, I cannot see myself participating in this.
No, I mean, and it seems like the prices are also already like at a fairly high level that would be tough for someone who doesn't have a decent amount of money to get into it.
Well, still, even if I had more disposable income, this is not where I would spend it.
You're not going and getting into it with like just $100. Like, it sounds like you need at least like 1,000 or two.
Yes.
And all right, one last story from the NBA. Quote from Brandon Ingram that he said he had never played on a team with someone who was as talented as he was until he played with Zion Williamson. Brandon Ingram was drafted by the LA Lakers and shared the court there with LeBron James. So I think he's wrong there.
Yes. Yes, that's a dumb comment to make. And I still think Zion's overrated. It seemed like he's a great athlete, but he still has room to develop. And he and I also think that ESPN is way too interested in covering him, just like they are with LeBron James. It seems like they pick certain players and then they obsess about them for as long as they can.
Yeah.
And he's one of them.
Yeah. And Ingram is a decent player, but he's definitely no LeBron.
Nope.
So, okay, that's...
Seems like there's a lot of news in the NBA this week.
Yeah. Do you got anything else, or is that it? We wrap up the NBA?
No, I think it was just those two stories on racism in the NBA.
Right. Yeah. All right, let's go into hockey. Start with whatever's going on with Artemi Panarin, player on the Rangers. He has taken a leave of absence because there have been hit pieces written against him in Russia, alleging that he beat up an 18-year-old girl in Russia in 2011. This came after he came out in support of Russia's opposition leader and came out against Putin. So it seems like Russia.
What a coincidence!
Yeah, seems like Russia is attacking him.
So since he spoke out against Putin, they're making these comments to disrupt his career.
Yeah. Also, he still has family in Russia, so it's kind of a big issue for him for their safety. But yeah, it's not very good.
Yes, Putin does not like it when you speak out against him.
No, he's definitely a dictator, kind of.
Yes,
yeah, I would. The title of president, he's kind of a dictator.
Yes, and I believe that. I mean, I guess if I was in his situation, I would try to move my family out of Russia if I had the ability to do so.
Also, Russia at one point they tried to assassinate the opposition leader that Panarin is supporting, so they definitely have it out for that guy.
Yes, they. Yeah, Putin is pretty ruthless. I don't follow international politics too closely, but it doesn't take a lot of research to find how ruthless he can be.
Yeah. So hopefully his family is all right, and yeah.
Yes.
Elsewhere in hockey, the Bruins have now lost 2 games in a row. Huge blowouts. One to the Rangers, one to the Islanders.
Yes, and they've been playing pretty well prior to that.
Yeah, they were pretty much at the top of the league. They lost 7-2 to the Islanders and 6-2 to the Rangers.
Yes. In Nashville, the Predators continue to struggle, and they're currently tied with Columbus at home today. So that could be worse. But based on what I've been reading about the situation, it just seems like the GM for the Predators has made a lot of bad trades, and they're all ending in this result. So if they don't correct these mistakes quickly, I think that the GM may be out of a job. David Poyle. It's just like it's been hard to watch.
Yeah.
But they are coming off 2 wins against Columbus, or no, where are they? Oh no, I was looking at the wrong end of the schedule. They lost to Detroit, or no, they won against Detroit on Tuesday 2-0, and then they lost against Detroit 5-2, and they are currently 8-11. So it's just unacceptable for a team that's been to the Stanley Cup only a few years ago for them to fall this far.
Yeah.
Just to sum up what I had read, it's a lot of trading away good players to get mediocre players.
Yeah.
And that takes a toll on you.
Yeah. I'm looking at the top of that division now with the Florida Panthers. It's a surprise to see them up there.
Yes. Well, they've seemed like they've only gotten better. I haven't watched them too much, but yes, they're because the team that I was concerned about at the beginning was Tampa, and they're both at 13-4, but the Lightning have run all over the Preds this season.
Yeah, and Toronto also looks really strong.
Yes.
15-4, two overtime losses.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Capitals and Flyers are continuing to play well. Well, the Flyers did not play well at the Tahoe outdoor game. Did you see that? The Bruins played very well. They scored a touchdown on the Flyers.
And then the Bruins haven't played well since. So
yeah,
I don't know.
They spent all their energy in Lake Tahoe, and then they are losing some momentum.
Yeah,
but the Flyers won against a bad Sabres team earlier today, and the Capitals won against a bad Devils team. So I guess just based on what I've seen here, that the East Division is pretty top heavy, and Drew, I wouldn't sweat their 2 bad losses. Now I think that the Bruins will be fine, and they'll still be definitely a playoff team, but I think that they could probably go pretty far in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But it looks like the Penguins are slipping. They're 10-7.
They're not having a great year.
Yes, and I am very happy to see that.
Yeah,
Sidney Crosby has had enough success in the NHL.
Yeah. And the Sabres are down there at the bottom of the East.
Yes. I don't think anybody expected too much from Buffalo this season.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Which is weird because they have a couple of really good players like Jack Eichel. But he's not Excuse me.
I saw that he was out, though. I'm pretty sure I saw on the bottom line that he was
Is he?
out.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like, and he was like out 50 games, but I can check their injuries now.
Right.
Yeah, so that could be costly for them. Yes, they're 6-9-3. Oh, Jack Eichel is day-to-day with a lower body injury.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Let's head into college basketball. Where the NCAA released their plans for what will happen if a team can't play in the NCAA tournament. I guess there's actually two policies. One before the announcement of the field and one for after the announcement of the field. It says replacement teams will only be introduced into the championship within 48 hours after the announcement of the field and at no time thereafter. So you could see teams jump in even after the bracket is released, just a few days,
Untitled Chapter.
Once the bracket is finalized and released, teams will not be reseeded, nor will the bracket change.
I was familiar with that part.
Yeah.
But I wasn't familiar with the first part about that.
Yeah. I know. It's going to be interesting. Like, if a number one, if like a top seed has to pull out, and then you get like a random school that's like doing poorly this year, like, I don't know who's a team that's like trying to think, like if UNC is on the outside looking in and then they get in as a 1 seed to replace a team like Michigan, so they have to sit out for COVID. I don't know, that would be interesting.
Well, that would definitely change the dynamic of the tournament.
And then you could see like a 16 beat a 1 seed finally.
Yes.
Yes.
It's good that they at least have a plan in place because they've thought through what they will do when that happens.
Yeah. So it says the last 4 teams not selected for the original field will be designated as replacement teams. And they'll be ranked 1 through 4. The first team in the ranking will be the first replacement team. And then those teams will move in if they have to. So.
Yes. No, we'll just have to see what happens.
And then again, after the games have started, if a team has to sit due to COVID, their opponent automatically gets a win.
Well, they have to keep the tournament moving, so that seems like a logical decision.
Like, can you imagine if it gets to like the Final Four and like Gonzaga has to miss the tournament, miss their game?
Yes.
Something. That would be wild.
Well, with this plan, it would be exciting to see a team like Missouri, who's ranked 24 right now, make a run.
It definitely gives a shot to like teams in the middle of the pack.
Yes. So I think that could be more exciting.
Yeah, like Missouri or Wisconsin, Oregon, something like that.
Houston, Creighton. Yes, I definitely think it opens the possibility of having one of those teams make it to the tournament.
Yeah. So let's see what else is going on in the tournament right now. Illinois and Wisconsin are playing a good game right now, 70-69. Very close.
I saw that.
Actually, only about 5 seconds left, so it's almost over. And Illinois just had a free throw to take a 2-point lead. So if Illinois wins that, they'll keep their spot as one of the top teams. And for as good as Gonzaga and Baylor have been, I've been also really impressed with Michigan still. They still only have one loss.
Yes, they bounced back from their layoff surprisingly well. So I still think my two of my Final Four teams when the brackets come out will be Michigan and Texas Tech, who had a big win over Texas earlier today in Lubbock.
Yeah, all right.
They seem like they can win the close ones.
And they're definitely a good team, but I don't know if I like their coach too, but I don't know. Put them that high, we'll have to see how the bracket looks. I like Iowa in the tournament.
Yes.
I like West Virginia too.
I did like West Virginia. I'm hesitant to put them in as a Final Four team.
Yeah. I'll look at the bracket.
Texas, I can't see them as a Final Four team. I think that like Texas and West Virginia will be a elite. I can't hear you. Team.
Can you hear me?
Yes. I said I see Texas and West Virginia as a elite 8 teams.
Okay, yeah. I'm looking at the bracketology page now.
I was just on that.
Let's see. They have Duke missing entirely still.
That's just so crazy. Maybe it's time for Coach K to retire.
We'll see.
Yep, I see Duke has the next 4 out as well.
Yeah, so that's not really even that close. They're like the 5th team.
Yeah, Louisville, VCU, Boise State, and Seton Hall are the last 4 byes. And the last 4 in are Indiana, UConn, Xavier, and Colorado State. Louisville's the only team I've really seen play. And so...
Yeah, they have West Virginia as a 2 seed right now. Illinois is a 2 seed. Yeah,
Maryland is a 9 seed. That seems a little high.
Texas Tech, they have a 6 seed. Tennessee, they have a 5 seed. That seems high for Tennessee.
And Tennessee's falling apart. They lost today to Auburn. So they can't.
Yeah.
They don't seem like they get behind and then they can't climb back and win games. They get behind early and they can't recover. It's just disappointing to watch as a Tennessee fan.
You know what I think is overrated? I've heard people on a couple shows say this now is Alabama.
I mean, Alabama looked good against Tennessee, the one game I saw.
Yeah. When was that?
It was an early season game.
Okay. No, I've been hearing this late, like people saying that they're overrated.
I mean, I don't think so, but like I said, I only saw one game, and the SEC is weak as a conference this year.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're 13-2 in conference and 18-6 overall.
Yeah.
I said their losses are to Western Kentucky, Clemson, Stanford, and Oklahoma, who was ranked 24th at the time. Oklahoma and Missouri. So they have, and Arkansas. So they have some losses to good teams, but I mean, I still think they're a top 10 team. I hate to say that because I don't want to see Alabama win ever again at any sport, but it seems valid to me.
Right, yeah, I agree. All right, so I think that's about it what we got for college basketball, right?
Hey, Yes. fellas, we're in the thick of winter, and there's a storm brewing. It looks like 1 to 3 inches in the forecast when you trim that hibernation bush that's taking place in your pants. Luckily, our partners at Manscaped specialize in products to make sure that you're walking around with beautiful snowballs this winter. Manscaped provides the best tools for your grooming experience, offering precision engineered tools for your family jewels. The Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer is the best hygiene tool for the modern man. And Drew is also uses Manscaped on a regular basis, don't you, Drew?
Yes, right here.
Which Manscaped product do you use?
Oh, this has the trimmer and the crop preserver in it.
Okay.
The crop preserver, that's like a deodorant, ball deodorant.
Oh, they have that too. So
Yeah.
for all your,
it's actually very, very good in the summer when if you like work outside or stuff and it gets sweaty. So
yes, for all your man area needs.
Yeah. Yeah, so you go to manscaped.com, use code BRAWL, you get 20% off and free shipping.
Yes.
And yeah, it's definitely works. And they also have products for your feet. Yeah, boxer briefs, nose hair trimmer, travel bag, and deodorant and cologne.
Yes.
So,
yes.
they definitely have everything.
Yes, and it does. I'm glad you brought up the crop preserver. It's anti-chafing ball deodorant that makes your balls smell nice and make you feel like your testes are walking in a winter wonderland.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into our fails of the week.
Yes.
Why don't you start us off?
Yes, I got a couple. First one comes us from Coke, where they are asking their employees to be less white. So I believe the intent was to promote anti-racism, and the messaging was terrible and poorly thought out. So
yeah, that doesn't sound like a good way to do that.
yes. Yes. And I think that it is a LinkedIn course. So
isn't that also like cultural appropriation?
I guess so.
Which is also supposed to be bad, isn't it?
Yes.
So it's like, yeah.
So that's corporate fail number one. Corporate fail number two was Boeing, whose engines caught on fire on a flight out of Denver earlier this week. So
yeah, I saw that there was like debris raining down on people's lawns. Somehow no one got hurt by it, which is very good. Everyone on the plane was safe apparently, so that's also good.
Yep, Boeing is continuing to crash and burn. They had multiple plane crashes with their 737 MAX, and now this 777 engine is causing issues as well. So not reassuring. And my concern about this is that Boeing is one of two commercial airline manufacturers. And so given that there's a lack of competition, it's that there's nowhere else. Airlines can either buy airplanes from Boeing or Airbus. And Airbus is a European country.
Right.
So we're kind of screwed when the main U.S. supplier is making decisions that are resulting in issues like this.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to have parts falling off your airplanes.
Yes.
Never good.
Yeah. In the one picture of debris, it looks like it's the engine cover, and it's I would want to say it's like 8 by 4 feet wide. So if that hit you, you would probably be killed.
Oh yeah, for sure. Falling from that high too.
Yeah.
And they say a penny drop from the Empire State Building can kill someone.
Oh well, if that's the case, this would definitely kill somebody.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess it fell from such a high, so high up that people were able to get out of the way.
Well, that's good.
Yes.
Well, I feel like you wouldn't see it until it was like 100 feet away, but
yeah. Well, and may have made a noise falling.
That's true.
Yeah. It was falling.
Yeah.
So, and if that fell on your house, it would do some severe damage.
It would, yes. They're lucky none of that happened either. I saw someone like people's front yard, so it was obviously very close.
Yeah. Yes, I believe it was a residential area where those parts landed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And my next fail does come from Barstool, where this man attempted to rob a grandma of her purse, and she was not having it. The video is posted on the Sun's Twitter account where she runs him down and tackles him in a parking lot of a restaurant, it looks like, or strip mall or something.
One tough grandma.
Yeah, she's been watching MMA. So it looks like she almost puts him in a guillotine for those MMA fans. So yeah, she was not letting him get away. And also, it looks like he was trying to rob her in sandals. It's Florida, so it looks probably pretty warm, but
I also like how after she just takes one of his shoes falls off, she just takes it and like tosses it back to him like, here, you tried to rob me, but don't forget your shoe.
Oh, I missed that. I guess I just watched the tackle and then I stopped watching it. So depending on what part of Florida she's in, maybe she could play for the Dolphins. I don't know. They might need a safety.
Maybe Jacksonville. Jacksonville can take her.
Yeah, they need some depth in their secondary.
Yeah.
Or Florida State. Florida State didn't look too great last season either.
Right. Yeah.
So a humorous story that came to us from Barstool, and then another. This is just dumb. The Oklahoma City Thunder were forced to switch jersey at halftime after a color clash with the Hawks. And the Hawks were wearing their red jerseys with yellow and white stripes, and then the Oklahoma was wearing their orange and powder blue jerseys. And up close, you can tell the difference, but from far away or on television, you would not be able to tell the difference.
Yeah.
And this is the second time the Hawks have worn their red jerseys when they should not have worn their red jerseys. And the first time was against the Knicks. And yes, it seems like there needs to be a little better communication about the uniform color. So the Thunder were the team that changed their jerseys at halftime. I guess since they're the home team, they had their white jerseys in the locker room or in a storage somewhere where they were able to quickly change and wear jerseys that did not clash for the second half of their game.
Okay.
Yeah, so just NBA player or NBA teams just not thinking.
I remember a few years ago when Color Rush first started, the Jets and the Bills played. The Jets in their green and the Bills in their red. And they apparently to some colorblind people are the same color. So that's why Color Rush had to change like forever after that, because one team still had to be in white.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that was the debut game of Color Rush.
Yeah. So after that, one team always had to be in white.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, and that's usually how it is, but I think the NBA with their jerseys is getting a little too creative and leading to, like, it seemed like
some of the city ones are ridiculous. Like Brooklyn's is really weird.
Yeah.
Some of them I like, but some are just weird.
Well, and I guess that one team does not always have to wear white. Thankfully, the NHL and NFL, it's one team, either the home or away team, I can't remember which one, is wearing white. Yeah. I believe in the NFL, the home team wears their dark jerseys, and then the away team white jerseys.
There are exceptions. The Dolphins usually make their opponents wear their colored jerseys because it actually gives them advantage because of the sun.
Okay.
The colors keep in heat, so it gets the opponent's players warmer. Dallas always wears their whites.
Okay. But I don't know what the NHL's policy is.
Yeah. I want to say it's a road team. Pretty sure it's the road team wears white.
I believe so. I believe that is correct. So, yes, that's what yes, from watching Capitals and Preds games, I'm pretty sure you're correct.
Yeah.
But what are your fails?
All right, so I'm going to start off in Montreal. Quebec City police have arrested a 50-year-old woman charged with circulating fake Alexis Lafreniere International Pee Wee Hockey Tournament cards. Lafreniere is a hockey player with the Rangers now. Let's see, it says, last December, organizers of Quebec International Pee Wee Hockey Tournament warned of fake cards of Lafreniere from 2013 emblazoned with the tournament logo for sale on websites. They've seen the fake cards selling for $100 on eBay. So this one was just making fake cards from a Pee Wee hockey tournament of a random player.
I'm surprised that people would fall for that. And I pulled up the story now.
It's I don't know why you would buy a Pee Wee hockey card.
Did she actually sell any?
Apparently, yeah.
That's crazy. Well, and I just saw an eBay commercial that was promoting the authenticity of their products. So they clearly did not review this and see if it was authentic or not, because it isn't.
Yeah.
But yes, that's a very that's a lot of work to commit fraud.
Yeah.
And commit bad fraud.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to stay in Canada for my next one. The city of Winnipeg is having a really hard time getting people to stop making snow sculptures of people having sex.
Oh, I've seen some of those posted on Twitter. That's just
like there's one of a guy that looks like this is a snow sculpture of a guy sitting on a bench and jacking off. There's another one of someone getting some oral sex. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why. Oh yeah. Yeah. Erotic snow sculptures heat up. Parody City of Winnipeg Facebook page. So it's all these. Yes, that's. Well, it seemed like it's a waste of time for them to just tell them to stop making those snow sculptures and they could just get warm water and melt them.
Yeah.
Like you just get a fire truck and just melt the sculptures.
It says city crews have dismantled dozens around the city.
Okay.
Like, how many does it have to be dozens? It's minimum 24.
Yes. That's hilarious. This guy, whoever he is, must have a lot of time on his hands. And based on his work, he seems like he's pretty talented.
Yeah.
He may have a career there.
Yeah, I mean, doing a decent job at it seems.
Yes. I'm looking at the oral sex one. That's it seems like that's a pretty accurate depiction.
Yeah.
Like it's not just two figures that look somewhat like people. You can clearly see that they're people.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to stay in a cold environment.
Oh, and also, before we move on, just real quick, why couldn't they just catch him in the act? Like it must take him like a half an hour to an hour to make one of these snow sculptures.
You would think maybe he did it overnight.
Still, like if people are walking by or driving by, they're like, "Oh, that's weird. What's that guy doing? Oh, he's making X-rated snow sculptures." We should probably report him. We don't need to see kids don't need to see that.
Yeah. Some of them were near schools too, apparently.
That's even better. Why didn't you start with that? That's literally this guy just wanted to show off his creativity.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to stay in a cold environment and go to Russia, where a bunch of people decided it would be a good idea to park their cars on a frozen lake. Only the sun came out and started to melt the ice, and now the cars are underwater. So they didn't know how the sun worked, apparently, in Russia.
Or they didn't realize how thin the ice was.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they weren't expecting it to be that warm. I don't know. But
yes.
Yeah, they parked their cars on a lake and now they're in the water.
Yes.
So.
Yes, I see that on BBC.
Okay. Yeah.
But luckily it says it's only 2 meters below the surface.
Yeah. Some of them.
So they're only like 12, 14 feet deep.
Still, I'm pretty sure the cars are ruined after that.
Yes. Oh, from what I've learned in auto insurance is, they're totaled. Even if they are drivable.
Yeah.
You can't actually drive flooded cars for liability reasons.
Okay.
But maybe Russia, they don't care. But
yeah.
Yes, that's a bunch of morons there.
Yeah. 2 warmer climates now. A soccer player in Guatemala is now facing punishment for faking an injury after hitting himself with a rock during a game.
I guess he didn't want to play in that game anymore.
Well, so he faked being hit by an object after slapping himself with the rock. he was picked up. He picked it up off the field and then hit himself across the face with it. None of the officials apparently saw him do it, so no punishment was handed out. But the Guatemala's football disciplinary body are expected to take action against the player. So, yeah, that was interesting.
Well, I found this on Barstool, and it looks like this is just like a field at the side of a school. Like it's if this is a professional field, it's a very small and poorly kept.
Yeah, but it seems to be that's what they have in those countries. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a first world country, I think, Guatemala.
Yes.
So, but yeah, that was rather funny watching him do that.
Yes, he went all out to flop.
Yeah, one of the best flopping performances I've ever seen. So that was
well.
fun.
It wasn't even that good if the refs didn't see him.
Right, and now he might be punished himself. So
yes, and I don't see why flopping is appropriate in soccer.
Yeah,
it just seems so dumb.
Yeah. Now to a couple stories in Florida, which if there's something happening in Florida, it's bound to be good.
Yes.
And so the first one is a woman took off her thong to wear it as a face mask after the staff of a store refused her service without a mask.
And you told me about this one before.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
What city in Florida did it say?
Huh? What's that?
What city in Florida?
It doesn't say.
Oh.
But it's from The Sun, which is a Florida business, I believe.
Oh, that was the same newspaper that covered the grandma tackling thief incident.
Yeah. Yes, it was. Yeah, this is rather funny. But yeah,
I'm Googling it as we speak. I can't.
I had a good Florida story myself. My grandparents lived down there, and I believe I was walking around the city they live in with my uncle, and we came across a empty storefront. There used to be a restaurant that we went to once, and we were looking at it, and we're like, oh, damn, that place closed. It was a good restaurant. And some other guy came over, and he's like, what do you think's through that door there? And then a fourth guy comes up, and he's like, that's where you go to the beyond.
Well, I found this story on the New York Post. It took a while, and it appears that she is wearing like a sundress, and then I guess she just takes it off. Oh, this is in South Africa. My bad.
Oh, it's in South Africa?
But it could be a different story.
I don't know. What color is the dress?
Maybe multiple women are using their thongs as a face mask.
Yeah, because she is wearing like a dress. So
yeah.
But is the shopping cart gray? Is there a gray shopping cart there?
I pulled it back. I was looking for a different.
And like a Pixar, like the Incredibles movie tray.
It's loading now.
But,
yes, it does look like a gray cart.
Okay, so maybe it must be South Africa then.
And she's it looks like she's next to the candy bars and the counter where she's taking her thong off. So I gotta give her props for creativity.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, I won't buy a mask. I'll just do this.
Use my underwear?
Yep. So, and I'm watching the video now, and she doesn't look too bright with a thong on her head.
No, definitely not. I think the joke's more on her than anyone else, but
yes.
Anyway, one final one. This one is definitely from Florida.
Yeah, get it right this time, Drew.
Yeah. All right. I guess so. A naked man, was running around at a Florida apartment building. He was running around holding a Bible, pointing to his dick, and yelling, "You want some of this?" to everyone. And he's now in critical condition. Apparently, the police came and I guess they had to shoot him to take him down, so he's in critical condition. But
well, he was probably on some hard drugs.
Yeah, but no, that's a funny sight to see someone running around with a Bible naked.
What part of Florida is this?
It says Pembroke Pines apartment building. South Florida Sun Sentinel is the newspaper that reported it.
Okay, so somewhere in South Florida.
Yeah. Florida's always a wild place.
Yes. Yeah, bizarre people that do bizarre things in Florida.
Yeah. All right, so that's it for our fails. Let's get to our failed athlete of the week, Rafi Torres, hockey player.
Yeah.
He had a decently long career.
Well, it looks like he played for a third of the NHL.
Yeah. The Islanders, the Oilers, the Blue Jackets, Sabres, Canucks, Coyotes, and Sharks. He was he was the 5th overall pick, though, in 2000.
And did not live up to that, I guess, if he couldn't stay on a team that long.
Yeah, well, so he didn't, let's see, he played one game for the Islanders in 2001, 2002, played 17 games for the Islanders in 02, 03, and then 03, 04 he was on the Oilers, where he played 80 games. But he never really reached more than, 41 points in a season was his highest total.
That doesn't sound too bad.
Huh? Yeah, he wasn't too bad, but that was his peak. Other than that, he never got above, looks like 34 points. Most of the seasons were down in the 20s, though.
Yes, that's not good.
But the real thing here was his suspensions. So when he was in Phoenix, it was actually in a playoff game. Let's see. He was playing against Chicago. He jumped into a hit on Marian Hossa's head that sent Hossa to the hospital. And then he was suspended 25 games for that hit, tied for the second longest suspension in NHL history at the time. It was then reduced to 21 games over the
That's a quarter of the season.
Yeah. So he missed the rest of that playoff season and 8 games of the next season. And then in 2013, he was traded to the San Jose Sharks, where, let's see, where is it? He tore his ACL, first of all. Injured his ACL, rather, causing him to be out until mid-February. And then he missed the entire 2014-2015 season. In 2015, at a preseason match, he had a penalty for a late illegal hit. for which he was suspended a record 41 games by the league, half of the regular season.
That's even worse.
Yeah. The second longest, or that was the second longest suspension at that by that point. The record is apparently held by a guy named Billy Kutu, who was suspended for life in 1927.
I wonder what he did.
I don't know.
He got suspended for life from the NHL. That seemed like it had to be pretty bad if you got suspended.
Let's find out. What did he do? He attacked a referee.
Oh. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah. He started a bench clearing brawl as requested by his coach. He started the brawl by assaulting the referee. And then he tackled another referee in the corridor.
Jeez.
But apparently he was allowed to play in minor professional leagues. And then he coached.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But back to our athlete, Rafi Torres. He returned from the suspension, but basically he went right to the AHL and never played in the majors again, it looks like.
In the majors, is this baseball?
Oh, in the major.
In the NHL?
Yeah, in the NHL.
I knew what you meant. I'm just giving you a hard time, Drew.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that's interesting.
Yes, he is very aggressive.
Yeah. And I did not know that story about that other guy either.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, that's very interesting.
Yeah, basically he couldn't stop injuring people, it looks like, and making illegal hits.
Yes. Well, and that's why those rules are in place, so that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Oh, or even before the first one, he was suspended 4 games for a hit to the head of Oilers forward Jordan Eberle. So he was getting suspensions all along. Looks like, looking at his stats, he had a lot of like penalty minutes and everything. So he was primarily an enforcer, it looks like.
Yes.
Which is not what you would expect from a first-round pick.
Yes.
Oh, and I'm looking at his personal life section. Halloween 2011, he and his wife dressed up in blackface as Jay-Z and Beyonce.
So he doesn't make good decisions on the field and off the field.
Nope. Not at all.
Yes. I mean, it's one thing to be dressed up as a celebrity, but yes, that's very inappropriate.
Yeah. It's also interesting. He's Canadian. He was born in Canada, but his father is Mexican and his mother is from Lima, Peru, Greek, Italian, and Serbian ancestry.
Go figure.
Yeah, well, you don't see many Mexican hockey players, if any, right now.
No, it's a mostly white sport.
Yeah. There are some black hockey players, but not many.
Yeah, few and far between.
Yeah. All right, let's go to our winners and losers of the week. We're talking about our favorite animals, least favorite animals.
Drew, and how did you come up with this one? This
really don't know.
Out of left field.
It was a random one, but I'm like, let's talk about some animals.
I'll go first. I only have one of each.
All right.
I think my favorite animal is the bald eagle. I mean, it's my favorite football team, but it's also the American bird, and I think it symbols. It's a strong sign of patriotism. And then my least favorite animal is cats. I just not a fan. They climb on everything, and they don't listen. They just mind their own business, and if you get in their way, they ignore you.
Yeah.
So it's two quick ones for me.
I don't mind cats, but they're not one of my winners, which my biggest winner is dogs. I'm a huge dog person.
Oh, I didn't know that. See, I'm not a dog person, but dogs you can train to be helpful.
Yeah.
Like for hunting or for sniffing drugs or bombs or or like they seem to make good support animals and can assist blind people.
Yeah.
So they seem like they're very functional animals. I hate to put it that way, but they're relatively, there are smart breeds that do assist people in their daily lives.
Yeah. Oh, I know how I came up with this idea, by the way. One of my other favorite animals, a panda bear. I was actually watching a video of a panda bear. That's how I thought of this one.
You just watch random videos of panda bears all the time, Drew? Is that you just sports and panda bear videos?
It came across my Twitter. What can I say? It was a panda bear playing in the snow.
Was it? Oh, I think I did see that.
Yeah.
Was it posted on Barstool? A Barstool Twitter account?
I think it was on Twitter.
Oh, okay. It was another Twitter account.
Maybe, yeah. I don't remember what account posted it, but
okay.
That's how I came up with this idea.
Okay.
So yeah, panda bears are another one of my favorites, and my last favorite, it's a weird looking animal, a platypus. Just because they're so weird looking.
I think I first learned of platypuses is with the Beanie Babies. That we had a ton of them out at some point in time, and there was a platypus Beanie Baby.
Yeah.
But I have to Google to see what they actually look like. I don't know if I would know off the top of my head.
Right.
Oh yeah, okay, so they are like a big beaver.
Yeah, with a duck bill on it. They just look weird.
Yeah.
My losers, I like all animals, to be honest, but I guess bugs, if you consider them an animal. Bugs.
So you don't like cockroaches, Drew?
No. Or spiders or bees. Bees are probably the worst, actually.
I don't mind spiders, but I've had roach issues before. They're not fun.
Yeah.
And they're like invincible, so it's very hard to eradicate them.
Yeah. Another one that I don't like is crows and ravens. They're so noisy.
Oh, they are? I don't think I've ever been around either of those. No.
Also, they're like scavengers, and I don't know, they're just not nice birds, really. But
well, along those same lines, I think I would second that with vultures. They're they're ugly looking birds, and they seem like they're pretty aggressive predators too.
Yeah. So, all right, I think that's it for.
Yeah, I would not want to cross one of their paths, especially I'm looking at vultures now. Yeah, they got that big, ugly red head.
Yeah, they're bald.
Black body.
They're bald.
Yeah, maybe that's why they're so mean, because they're so ugly.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. So. Yep. Okay. That's that'll do it.
Yeah.
For this episode of Winning Losers, and I have posted the link to DraftKings on Twitter again, so make sure to click on that after you finish listening to this episode and bet all your money with DraftKings.
Yeah. And also buy some Manscaped stuff. So
yes. Trim those weeds in your pants, guys.
Yeah. All right. Have a good one. Oh, hold on. I just saw something. Josh Gordon is joining that startup football league that Johnny Manziel is in. Did you see that?
I saw that on ESPN.com now.
Yeah.
I really don't think it'll make a difference.
No,
I don't think
not.
anybody really cares to see washed-up NFL players play flag football.
Yeah.
Maybe in like an exhibition game at like an event, but like not as a league. Because it's kind of fun when they do like the celebrity flag football games at the Pro Bowl. But yeah, I don't foresee this league working out. So
right.
Good luck to them, but nobody cares.
Yeah. All right. So
well, before we go too, Oklahoma and Oklahoma State are tied in overtime now. So I'll go ahead and watch the end of that game.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good game.
Yeah, but
right.
An important Big 12 matchup.
Yeah. See you next week, everyone.
Bye, guys.